in some ways triggered an Israeli response that was existential. I think what October 7th did is it shattered the illusion at the heart of Zionism, which is that there can be safety for Jews in Palestine without having to deal with the indigenous population. October 7th shattered that, and the response from Israel was genocide. So if we cannot contain, if we cannot have this equilibrium where we continue to exist and Palestinians are happy behind their walls and in their prisons, if we can't have this structure, then we will remove all Palestinians. That's the only way to continue to exist as a Jewish state, ethnic cleansing or extermination. And that's what this genocide is. And the way that it's been carried out, the degree of impunity, the Western complicity in the genocide, meant that Israel, as you say, went even further and said, not only are we exterminating Palestinians here, we're redrawing the map of the Middle East. We're going to stay in Syria, we're going to decimate Hezbollah in Lebanon and stay in Lebanon. We're going to carry out attacks against an American ally like Qatar, where there's one of the biggest bases in the region. We're going to carry out sovereign attacks against Iran, or attack other sovereign nations such as Iran. We're going to carry out pager explosions throughout Lebanon in civilian centers and can do all of this without any kind of pushback, including starvation, including all of the ways in which the genocide has sort of been live streamed on our phones with barely a peep from the West. So I think to think about what that means in terms of resistance is very difficult. I think we're in a new world in which now we see an apartheid regime live streaming a genocide for 2 years, and then all the diplomatic language is about how we do reconstruction and ceasefire. There's no accountability. In some ways, this has opened up globally a sort of a future where it's possible to carry out horrendous acts of genocide.
If Israel can, why can't I?
Exactly. And so how do we resist this? In some ways, this is a question for Palestinians in the immediate sense of this apartheid regime, in the immediate sense of survival. How do we stop a genocide, and how do we make sure we're not exterminated as a people? But this is a question that's far bigger than Palestine now. This is a global question. How do we exist in a world in which this kind of genocide is not only tolerated, but advanced? And how do we resist that? October